I ordered a puri. They gave us 2 puri with all the sauces, curry. You ordered chapati.
So chapati set, you come with 2 chapatis again with all the sauces.
Yeah, masala tea, teh halia, and bonda. What we just said, guess the price. Hi, my name is Eddryll.
And my name is Ping.
And this is the Teo-logy podcast.
I'm very excited for today because today we're going to talk about food.
And food is something that's very integral to the Malaysian's life. Yeah. So maybe Ping, before we dive deep into it, why not you give our audience the flow of what we're going to expect today?
So we waited a little bit to record this because we wanted to try food out in Johor and be able to collect a list enough to talk about it. So today we're actually going to review food in Johor. We'll start with naming 3 foods in Johor that we didn't know originated from Johor. And then after that, we'll talk about 3 go-to places to eat in Johor with some honorable mentions on the side.
Yeah, and before we begin, right, a quick disclaimer that our metrics here is not to find the most extravagant, most wow-tasting places. What we are looking for are value for money places that you go. Because even if we recommend the nicest place, it's not something that you can go every day, but this is something that you can go often enough because it doesn't hurt your wallet for most of the shops that we recommend lah. Yeah. So you want to start us off?
Okay, so we'll start with the food that we did not know originated from Johor. First one, maybe some people did, but we didn't, and that is the Lavender Bakery food chain. So Lavender is a pastry bakery chain that you can actually find in KL. You can find it in Singapore. What we didn't know was the HQ came from Masai in Johor. And it is a lot like any other bakeries out there. You have your more Western type of pastries.
Croissants.
Yeah, your Danish pastries, all the fancy names. But you also have a range of more local tastes. So we would see things like kaya toast loaf or otak otak bun, which is quite a thing in Johor. You know, you can find otak otak anywhere. And then they even have names. There was one cake that was called Xiao Ge.
Or like small big brother.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Xiao Ge.
Yeah. So the quality of the pastries are pretty good, but it is also reasonably priced. So you can find a croissant there for maybe 6 ringgit.
Or 590, I think.
Yeah. So you imagine if you're a Singaporean and you cross the border, you know, the currency comes down, which is probably why we see quite a long chain usually, queue at Lavender bakeries.
But obviously, we want Malaysians to try it too. Let's not talk just about Singaporean currencies, although we know Malaysian currencies in deep. Okay. Yes.
From a Malaysian point of view, it's also quite reasonably priced. So yeah, go try it.
Yeah, I think then the next one will be, some of you may already know this, but Mary Brown is actually from Johor itself. And I think one of the founders, right, they wanted to find a name that was internationally accepted. So that's why they didn't go for a localized name like, like Kawin Coklat, Mary Brown. But more like they wanted to go for something 3 syllables so it's easier to catch. And the word that they came up with was Mary Brown.
Yeah, we had to look this up on the website.
Yeah. Clearly stated there. Yeah, and what do you think of the food in Mary Brown?
Yeah, I feel like it fooled me because it's such a Western sounding name, right? So I didn't know that it came from Johor. It's okay. It's your regular Western type of fast food, right? Fried chicken with fries, maybe an aerated water on the side. If I had to pitch it against all the other fast food in that kind of section, it would not be the first one that I think of when I choose. But if you ask me, it's not bad. It's decent.
I think for me, it's more like, if I were to go there, not by choice, I wouldn't struggle eating their food. However, I think in comparison with the rest of the food chains, if you're comparing apple to apple, I would naturally incline to prefer to go to places like McDonald's or KFC, although these are not the places we frequent anyway lah. Yeah.
Maybe it's a marketing thing as well because the more international brands have higher, in your face advertising.
Yeah, perceptions, right?
Yeah.
Like Manhattan Fish Market, stuff like that.
But if you are, in the boycotting scene for certain fast foods, support local, then definitely Maribyrnong is a good alternative option.
Yep. Okay, so what's the next one?
Third one. To be fair, we didn't know too much about it. We still don't. But we found out that this thing called Ringgit coffee,
Renggit.
I think there's one G, but we can double check later. Yeah. Also originated from Johor. It is when you go to malls or, shops, you will see a regular sort of cafe, coffee shop vibe. But what they pride in is that they actually they grow their own coffee beans. They roast their coffee beans all the way to, when you're a customer and then you show up at their shop and you drink their coffee.
Yeah, and their beans, if I'm not mistaken, is called elephant coffee. Elephant coffee beans.
Yeah, not too sure why either. But
Yeah. And the one we went was in Paradigm Mall, JB1, yeah, the much better one. That day was a very busy day. We only managed to try their cappuccino. It was okay actually. Haven't tried the food. So we cannot give you any ideas there. But just to say, it's from JB lah.
yeah, it's not from JB. It's from Batu Pahat.
Sorry, Batu Pahat. Sorry, it's
Yeah.
from Johor, Batu Pahat. Yeah.
Yeah, but the coffee was decent. Okay, so with that, those are the 3 foods that we did not know originated from Johor. Now we're going to move on to the ones that we enjoy, which is our go-to places for food in Johor.
Which we will recommend, and we're going to one of them there for dinner, which is this one. It is a hawker stalls, this whole area called TW Food Court in Tampoi area. Yeah. And I think I'll start off first by showing that if you want a place with lots of varieties, from Malay to all the way Indian, Chinese, that opens up from morning all the way till midnight, this is the place to go to. Maybe you share some of your highlights at TW Food Court.
Yeah, you can find small stuff like kuehs and cakes and stuff, all the way to proper decent meals. So the Malay range would be things like the ayam penyet. You have the ikan goreng masak lemak.
No, ikan chili masak lemak.
Ikan chili masak lemak. That was quite good.
Yeah.
Then they also have the soup. Is it soup tulang?
Yeah, the sum, and when you put the straw inside that
The bone marrow,
and then you suck it.
Yeah.
With the soup kambing lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also have, more international cuisines like the Japanese stuff, the Korean stuff. You have clay pot, regular things like your wonton mee, your curry noodles. That was quite good. They put a lot of siham.
Speaking of clay pot, they also have this thing called Indian clay pot rice, or what you known as sati soru. I think that one's really worth it for 3 people to eat. Yeah. But other than that, they also have their staples lei cha. They have pan min, wonton min, char kway teow, and their zap fan, their mixed rice, somehow always below 10 ringgit. Yeah.
He likes that a lot. Yeah, and ambience wise, if you went on a hot afternoon, you can sit in the more air-conditioned area in the center. But if you showed up at night where you can actually enjoy the open air with the lights, it's quite a nice, feel.
Yeah. Okay, so what's next?
Let's recommend quite nearby to TW as well. Further down the road is an Arabic shop called Zaituna.
Yeah, along Skudai Highway, you see.
And when we first saw it, we thought, like, what mansion is this?
So big, multiple shop lots.
Yeah, and a few stories. But I think how they section it is different parts of the shop is for different purposes. So there's like event hall, and then there's the normal, you just walk in and have your meal. But it has pretty good Arabic food, in large portions, and I would say quite reasonably priced.
Yeah, I think the one thing that shocked us was both of us were just going maybe to celebrate something as to try something new. So we were ready to spend a little bit more this one time. And when we ordered this platter of meat hummus, and we both love hummus, and the bread to do the wraps and the vegetables, it turned out to be only 25 ringgit. Yeah, for that portion that probably can feed 3 people. And so we end up accidentally over ordering. Yeah, but we really appreciated that. The service was good. They're all from Arab. I don't know which country. You know, you go there, go Sabah al Khair, and they go like Sabah al Nun. You know, or yeah, Shukriya. Or was it Shukran? One of them lah. Yeah. So when you learn to speak a bit of these Arabic words, they really appreciate it.
Yeah. They do have quite a wide range of Arabic sweets as well, the desserts, so you can feel free to go and try them. And they're, I don't know whether it's SST, GST or whatever, but it's very minimal in the sense that
SST, by the way.
okay. Yeah, pretty much what you see on the menu is the price that you expect to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good
Yeah.
stuff.
Zaituna, give it a try. Yeah.
Okay, what about our third option of go-to place to eat?
Third option shall be none other than Kacang Poo Haji. Yeah.
So we choose to still recommend it, even though you can find it on quite a lot of food blogs. Because what we realize is that a lot of our Malay friends will tell us to go there to try. But when we mention it to Chinese friends who live in JB all their life, they don't know what it is.
Yeah. Interesting, right? So we have the bragging rights now over them. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is Kacang Poo Haji? We also had to Google it up a bit. It is an adaptation from Egyptian dishes or a dish. It's basically a broth of fava beans. I don't also fully know what fava beans are, but they taste a bit like kidney beans to me. And then you have a bread, a toasted thick toast bread, where you dip into the bean broth. So the bean broth usually has a minced meat. If you go to the main chain, the main branch, you can choose either daging, which is beef, or kambing, which is mutton.
Which I think there's also chicken.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Go and find out. But if you go to the other branches, then you will only find daging.
Yeah, so the to me the closest taste to give you a resemblance is the satay sauce like. So it has that taste, although I think it's better. Yeah, but you think it's slightly different.
Yeah, I liken it to an upgraded version of English breakfast. Because you know you have the baked beans and the baked bean sauce, and then you take the toast and you dip it in. So yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
But what's your verdict on it?
I think it's nice. I would definitely easily recommend people to go there. However, if you're going for dinner, then maybe you need to supplement it with other dishes like lontong or mee rojak or mee rebus. It's a good breakfast meal with the eggs, bread, and the sauce, and the meat. Maybe order some slice of cucumber, probably full. But as dinner, you might be wanting more out of it. Yeah.
Which, if you go to the main branch, then you have all the other dishes. They do offer other stuff, which Eddryll mentioned. If you go to the side branches, then they're usually small stalls, so they only serve kacang poo. I do have a sense that the main branch guys are a bit more experienced. You will see the guy who cracks your egg, right? He will crack it with one hand, and then he'll it's like a chain factory. But some side branches I prefer, for example, their toast is a bit more toasted, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And with that, we're gonna enter to honorable mentions. So we don't necessarily recommend them on a day-to-day basis, but we mention them because of the few dishes that we've tasted to be good. Yeah. Why not you start us off?
Okay. First one was one that we ate quite recently, actually. And thanks to our pastor who recommended it. So it's called Howin.
Howin.
Yeah.
WWIN. You just double check, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bak kut teh restaurant, so clearly non-halal. But the specialty there is actually this thing called ikan keli. Don't know what keli is in English, actually.
Catfish.
Oh, right, catfish. Which they cook it in dry bak kut teh sauce.
Yeah. And I think at first, you're thinking, oh, it's just a fish dish, right? Until you put it in your mouth and then it just melts. Yeah. By the way, it's in Taman Johor Jaya. So wherever you are, if you're willing to make the distance there, yeah, check that shot out. Yeah.
The bak kut teh is like any other normal bak kut
Yeah.
teh, but that is a recommended dish.
Yep. The next place is also in Tampoy near TW Food Court is Sri Chetinan. Now at Tampoy there are a lot of Indian shops around for you to try, but the ones we tried was Sri Chetinan, and let me give you a menu. Okay, I ordered a puri. They gave us 2 puri with all the sauces, curry. You ordered chapati.
So chapati set, you come with 2 chapatis again with all the sauces.
Yeah, masala tea, teh halia, and bonda. Bonda is this sweetened sort of bread like ginger tasting. Or we had 3 of them.
Fried balls.
I wanted to go there for upma, okay, which is another dish I don't know how to explain to you. Just I enjoy eating, but they ran out. That's how good it was apparently. And we went there for breakfast, a brunch actually. So they do have their lunch set with all the meat, but this is the place. Okay, now with what we just said, guess the price. Yeah. It was 14 ringgit, 14.50 around there. And we thought it's going to be like 25 and above because we did a calculation, but that 2 puri thing, right, was only like 3 something, and we were so shocked because it was so filling and so worth it. Yeah, and how do you find your dish?
Was it 3 something?
Yes, it was 3 something.
Okay. But I enjoyed my chapati. I'm not a regular chapati lover because it might not always turn out right, but the one that I tried was nice. It was soft and fluffy. It had the pastry flavor with the doughy, powdery stuff. So I enjoyed my chapati, yes.
Yeah, and like to think that our brunch at the end of the day was about 7 ringgit per person. Yeah, I was like, this is good.
Can go back.
Can go back. Yeah, and we will go back. Yeah, I need my upma. Upuma. Yeah. We also went there again to have this dish called pani puri, and it was served in shots.
I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot.
Okay. Third honorable mention is this chain of restaurants called Let's Eat. You can find it in various tamans. It has your usual Hainanese coffee shop vibe, the air conversion type. But the dish that we recommend is the fish noodles because the broth is nice, it's milky and all that, but the seafood comes in a very generous volume.
Yeah. It's either seafood noodles or fish noodles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fish pieces are also quite generous.
And they're not like fish cakes, they're like fish chunks of meat. Yeah.
So very good value for money for that one.
However, I do want to give a quick disclaimer, which I said I won't recommend. In all these Hainanese shops, you might always see them serving their coffee dipped in this ice box and all that, and it's like really unadulterated kind of coffee. I think it's pretty gimmicky for most. The nicest one I've tasted probably is in Kepong, it's not in Johor. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know whether there's a way to do it, but the rest I've tasted were like just like normal lah.
Yeah, but you can find it in Let's See if you want to try it.
Yeah.
What is our, I think, final?
Our final one may be a surprise to some, but it is opposite Larkin Central. It is called Loaf Adam. It is a pastry shop or patisserie shop. Pastry, yeah. Yeah.
And I think what is special about it is you can find a lot of good patisserie shops, but this one is, to me, maybe I'm wrong, but to me, it's quite rare for me to find a fully Malay-run Western pastry shop. And they have pretty good pastries.
And how good they are? When we were walking around Larkin Central and we saw that shop, people were lining up like half an hour before it opened.
And it was a weekday.
Yes, a weekday. And we decided to give it a try also lah. Yeah, but it's not the cheapest.
Yeah.
However, everything is good.
Yeah. You would imagine if someone walked in and had ordered a coffee and a pastry, it'll come up to at least 20, usually 25, that range.
Yeah. And I think one thing that it speaks into also, it does speak of a little bit of the stereotypes that sometimes we hold. To be impressed to see how fully run by Malays kind of thing. Yeah. And for the two of us, we usually find ourselves the odd ones out every time we go to these places.
Only Chinese.
We're the only Chinese in Chetinan, the only Chinese in this Malay shop. We're only Chinese in this. We're always the only Chinese in wherever. Yeah. But what do you make of it?
Oh, I would recommend it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But as I said, just be prepared of Oh wait, you're talking about not the food, but the idea that you see different people.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I find the society in Johor a little bit segregated. You do see certain groups of people, they almost only have their lifestyle in certain areas.
Tetapi apa yang saya dapat lihat ialah bagi golongan orang Melayu kan, macam bila kamu pergi ke pasar sebagai contohnya kan, kamu akan dengar mereka manggil kamu kan, leng cai lai lai, ni要买鸡吗？老板来. So now saya amat kagum bahawa mereka yang sedang belajar bahasa lain, and when actually in actual fact, right, the bahasa kebangsaan is bahasa Melayu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
JB Chinese, Malay is terrible.
So far lah. Siapa makan cili, dia yang terasa pedas kan. Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
But yeah, I think that will be an interesting topic for another episode.
Sure.
For this episode, we have talked about food. We have shared with you the places we have tried. Feel free to recommend us. Please do so. We are happy to go and try them out, and maybe we'll come out with a part 2.
Yeah, and we are thankful for our friends that have already been sending us lists of recommendations which we haven't been yet. We will eventually go there lah. Yeah. So I guess that's it for now.
This is the Teo-logy podcast.
Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.